Hi there, welcome back. As promised, this is part 2 of FloaterUp's 15th anniversary artwork process. As we said before, we work every year with Noise Inc., multimedia and branding firm. They're headquartered here on Sanibel Island, and they also have offices in Milwaukee and a couple of other places. You'll have to look them up and find that out for yourself. Anyway, every season since our 11th season, they have been creating our show artwork for us. So we try to tell the story of the play, or at least give the essence of the story in one image that we use to market the play all season long. Our 15th season will have an Art Deco theme that'll go along with it that sort of is inspired by Lend Me a Tenor, which takes place in the 1930s in a really spectacular Art Deco hotel. So we took that show as the inspiration, and then that's the guiding principle that will take us through. Also, every one of our show slates this year will have on it the season 15 ND show, which is the Art Deco logo. That will be the brand for the season. So one of the interesting things about this whole artwork process is actually the process we go through. At the beginning of each, at the end of each season, at the beginning of the summer, I have a meeting with Emily Prisbillo at Noise Inc. and John Sprecher, their CEO, and then they distribute the information to their creative team up in Milwaukee, led by Tony Seaman. But what we end up doing is we tell them as much information about each play as possible. I give them a show synopsis, I tell them what important imagery is, I tell them what important metaphors are, etc., etc., etc. And then they take it one step further and they do their own research. I'm actually really always impressed with how much they know each play. And then from there they give us sketches, which we showed you the last time around. And I think we mentioned the Other Desert Cities sketch for you the last time. And it's this really interesting and dark story about and actually darkly funny story about a woman who comes home to spend the holidays with her family and has a bombshell. She's written this memoir about her family's past that they do not want her to publish, and so that's what the play becomes, and their house becomes the spark point. And so they came up with this beautiful sketch that has Brooke, our central character, on the edge of the diving board with her manuscript in hand, and the question that the artwork asks is what will happen next. And so we showed you this as one of my favorites, and it certainly is one of my favorites now that we have it finished. It's beautiful colors, and it juxtaposes the mood of the play with the setting, and I think it's really, really wonderful. So when I talk about the process, sometimes their first sketch is something that we love and we approve right away, and then sometimes there's a show that we sort of go back and forth with, and this year it was Educating Rita. Educating Rita by Willie Russell is the story of a woman named Rita, a young hairdresser who wants better in her life than her station dictates. So she wants to better herself, she wants education, she goes to the university, and she becomes a student of Frank, who is in his 50s, he's an alcoholic, he hides behind his books and his work, he doesn't write poetry anymore. And so what happens is a beautiful story where the two of them learn from one another, and he learns just as much from her as she does from him, etc. So the first sketch that Tony did for us was this sketch of Rita here with her hairdressing scissors held up cheekily in front of her face. We weren't exactly sold on it. I asked them for a revision, and they gave us this, Rita cutting Frank's hair, but lost in the book. But we thought it was a little too literal, so we went back to the drawing board again, and Tony sketched us another sketch, which we asked for some revisions on, and they sent us 2 other options. So this is a little bit more Rita the seductress with her apple in a shaft of light and knocking over Frank's scotch. And then we asked for even another revision, and they sent us this, which is as close to the final product as we got, actually. This is the final sketch that we approved, and we used some chalkboard elements in the title, but Tony is a champ. I feel like we owe him a whole case of pencils. So it's just an interesting process for you to see what we go through to get this collage of images. So now that we have the artwork from Noise, the question you're probably asking yourself is, what do we do next? Well, that's a great question, because I can tell you. We do a whole bunch of different collateral projects, different publications that start off the season. Right now, we are working on putting together a brochure that will be inserted into the news press. We will then take that same brochure and redesign it and fold it up and mail it out to a bunch of you, so look for that. And then from there, we do a whole bunch of other things. On the website, one of the first things that we'll do, and when I say we, I mean me and our graphic designer. Her name is Daryl Fazio. She's out of Atlanta, and her website is right here if you want to go to it. She not only is a graphic designer, but she's a playwright. and she's a theater practitioner, so it's really great to work with her because she understands how theater works, she understands how, she knows all the plays, so it's great, she's great. But anyway, the next thing that will happen is that we will create slides that will go on the website right here that will feature that artwork. So all of that will happen in the next couple of weeks. Also, we are in the process of putting together our first brochure, which will feature Lend Me a Tenor on the cover. So what Daryl does is takes the artwork and then puts it into all of the different practices. So playbill covers, brochure covers, posters for the marquees outside are going to be two of the big projects. These brochures and posters are the first two things we'll start working on. It'll go into our monthly ads, it'll go into our weekly ads, it'll go into various different publications and online stuff. And then we have to figure out every year, based on the artwork, how to line this stuff up. So this is the tentative sort of layout of the inside of the brochure that you're about to see. So that will be happening. We're in process on that and on deadline for that. And we'll be putting the website together. So it's a very, very busy and exciting time here at Florida Repertory Theater. Enjoy.